Okay, hey guys, I am SeaGnome, and today I have the privilege of being alongside PsyStarcraft, a 200 Diamond player, and top 200 Zerg player, and he's in Diamond, of course. He's a relatively recent commentator, and he's pretty popular with the Reddit community, especially with the all kill that he got on D2 JSP, and yeah. So I have a few questions for him today. How are you doing, Psy?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm also good. Especially, this is a nice privilege for me, getting to talk to all these pretty famous people, at least in the StarCraft world and esports. So I guess we should just jump into these. So,
All
first
right.
off, who are some of the players that you look up to and why?
I think the most popular one that I look up to, and a lot of people know this if they've seen my channel, is Idra, and this is for a couple of reasons. First of all, I think he is the best foreign StarCraft 2 player in the world, and probably one of the top StarCraft players just everywhere, Korea included, in the world. And if you just like watch him talk in any kind of interview or any kind of commentary, he's just so quick and fluent with his answers. He obviously knows the game, and he could just sit there and talk about balance for hours. And actually, last night he was commentating the GSL, and all I wanted to listen to was Idra just because he understood the game so well. Even in the Terran versus Protoss game, he could just predict every step that each player would take, and it's just awesome just listening to him.
Okay. Yeah, I completely agree. It is one of my favorites as well as a fellow Zerg player, although I'm not nearly as good. So, on to the next one then. How do you anticipate Blizzard changing Zerg in the future, and what do you think needs the most changing in general for the, StarCraft 2 as a whole?
As far as Zerg goes, I want to mention that Roach change. I think it was a little bit much in a lot of ZVT games I've played. I've pretty much just went mass roaches, and I've been really successful. I don't know if it'll work in the higher levels. Higher level Zergs are already winning just with their standard, mutaling, baneling play against Terran with some infestors into ultras, and then their hydras, corruptors against Protoss players. But as far as what Zerg need, I think they need better scouting in the early game. The only way you can really scout right now is to get a lucky run by with a Zergling or to sacrifice an Overlord. And in most cases, the Overlord sacrificing doesn't even work against good players. They'll position their buildings right. They'll have Marines or Stalkers on the outskirts. Just a lot of things just can go wrong with Zerg scouting. And by the time you do get a lair, it's usually too late in the game, and Banshees are already coming at you, or there's a timing tag coming at you. And so one of the reasons Zerg is such a reactive race is because of their lack of scouting. You have to prepare for everything. You have to prepare for air. You have to prepare for Hellions. You're often getting two spines in your expansion when you don't necessarily have to if you know Hellions aren't coming. You have to prepare for timing attacks. So it's kind of a bummer that Zerg have that problem. And also, I'd like to see a little bit more diversity with Zerg. Like they don't have as many units as Protoss and Terran. And sure, you can do a lot with these units, so I wouldn't say Zerg is a more shallow race, but like I like tricks, I like Reapers, I like Warp Prisms warping in the back of the base. I like Ravens. I mean, Zerg really only have one real caster, and that's the Infestor. The Overseer doesn't really count, and the Queen, is just a base hugger, so that doesn't really count either. So
Okay. Do you have any desire or plans to commentate games that, where you weren't playing?
Oh yeah, totally. If I ever feel like I've like slumped to a point where it wouldn't be worth it to watch my games, and like if my games were so bad it wouldn't be beneficial for people to watch it, I'll probably just switch to pro games. You might have noticed like lately I've been casting some Idra versus QXE. I casted the Idra Maro series in one of the Intel Extreme Masters tournaments, and a couple other games, mainly Idra just because he's so good, and the purpose of my channel is to teach Zerg players how to play. But yeah, I like to mix it up a lot. I think that casting my own games kind of fills a niche in the StarCraft 2 commentary field because doing my own games, you get to see my thought process as opposed to just like watching a pro game and saying what the players are doing. You don't always get the reason behind what they're doing. So I think it's helpful doing my own games.
Yeah, I think that you're certainly right there. I know that there are a lot of Redditors who are trying to create something like your channel, except for Protoss and Terran. I think the Protoss one was going to be called the Templar Archives, but I have yet to see that actually come to something. So yeah, do you think that esports in the West is growing at a sustainable rate, and do you think the likes of the MLG or something completely new could ever grow to rival the GSL?
Esports is one thing that I don't really keep up on as much as I should. It really depends on how you want to measure the growth of esports. I mean, I guess you could just look at the different events in the US and say, okay, how many people are attending? How much money was on the line? How well is it run? And in terms of those kind of details, I'd say it's doing okay in the US. I know MLG is going to better accommodate the StarCraft 2 scene after realizing how big StarCraft 2 is compared to console games, specifically in DC, I guess. They they had like so many chairs clumped together and people were saying it's a fire hazard and it was just hot and steamy and stuff like that. And so, they're going to make a bigger StarCraft 2 scene, I'm assuming in Dallas, I think is the next one. And hopefully that'll help out. And as far as rivaling GSL, I'm kind of skeptical about that. It'd be like asking just a random person on the street, do you think online gaming will be as popular as baseball, in the United States? So my hunch is kind of no. I can't really imagine redneck America embracing video games like more intelligent Asian and European cultures have. So yeah, I'm so patriotic about that, I know.
What advice would you give to a new commentator?
Uh, um, well, first of all, I got really lucky. Like, I cannot stress how lucky I got, even being as well known as I am as a commentator, which isn't extremely well known. But I entered the scene at just the right time. When Beta started, HD started his channel. Then I think shortly after Husky started his channel, they were both doing beta commentaries. And then, halfway through the beta or something like that, I started out. And I don't think I'd be where I was at, except I actually sent Husky a message and I was like, hey dude, check out my stuff, and if you like it, let people know. And he actually checked out one of my videos. He skipped to a part where I was being completely belligerent, like I was just talking so much smack to one of the players I was playing, and he thought that was funny, so he gave me a shout out. It boosted me from 15 to 1,500 subs overnight, and from there I just worked at it. So my advice would be, first of all, just be yourself. Stick with your personality. Don't try to fake it and be too commentary-ish or anything like that. Like when people message me and they're like, "Hey, check out my commentaries and tell me what you think." I look at it and the first thing I see is like, "Hello everybody, this is a commentator and I'm going to give you a game today." They're doing that typical commentary voice, which I don't think really works too well. It seems so fake. So just be yourself. When you finish a video, watch your own videos. Try to eliminate any bad habits. Like I had tons of bad habits. I still have some, but not as many. Find some good games to commentate and just keep trying. Really.
Okay, how about lower level players, probably upper plat or maybe lower diamond, looking to go pro, looking to take that next big step to getting into the, I guess, professional scene?
Well, if you don't really have much experience with RTS, you really just need to learn the basics first of all, and it's going to take a lot of time. The biggest problem that I see with every new player that I ever watch, every once in a while someone will send me a replay and I'll watch it, if I'm bored or something, and they just will not have enough workers. And I just want to tell them, dude, just get 30 drones at each base. Do not get any other units. Get overlords, queens, and drones. Nothing else. I just want to shout that into their face until they realize it. And of course, if they do that, they'll lose a lot of games. But I mean, Day 9 says the exact same thing. You'd rather lose a game because you got too many drones than by getting too few drones. So you really just have to learn the macro aspects of the game. Play a lot of games. Don't be afraid of losing. Watch your replays. And, if you're not that good, have someone else watch the replay with you. And, like, new players, they're asking questions like, can you help me with my micro, or what do you think of my new build? And I look and I see that they're in the bronze league and I'm like, why are you worrying about builds and micro right now? You don't even know how to make drones. So when you start at StarCraft 2, don't think so mechanically. Just kind of make a lot of drones and see what works, and then do that and you'll be platinum, and then you can worry about build orders and that kind of stuff.